Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning,
How are you
Austin. How you
doing?
doing, brother? I'm doing
Doing
great,
good,
man.
man.
Yeah, doing good. What's
It's
today?
been quite a
Thursday?
while. I don't know, man. I don't know. Well, actually, the only way I know it is the rate limit resets on the on the AI models. It's my way
Right.
to know when the weekly resets hits. But
I
um,
know. That's funny.
cool.
I feel like everybody's relationship to time is just so messed up right now. Or just I don't know. It's different. I mean, we're in the singularity. That's what it is. Everything's just wild.
100%, 100%. And especially, I mean, I'm super excited about this chat today because I know you've been. I mean, you're all over the place in general with Bearish because I feel like you guys are doing 100 things at the same time. So I'm very excited to talk to you about, we can talk in general about Bearish and what you've been doing across all the projects, and then we can dive into the AI topic, which I know you're super passionate about, and I'm sure there's a lot of people in here who want to learn more. Um,
Love it.
so great. Let's wait a little bit. So a few more people join in.
All
I
right.
think we just announce it. And hey everybody, hey Assassin, how you doing? He's saying Toli my goat. If you want to see, you have the side chat here. So if people have some questions, you can go back and forth.
What's up, Assassin? What's up, everybody?
A lot of bearish fans here. Amy, Bonesby, that one. Let's go. The gifts are taking over, man.
The gifts are taking over, man. I mean, they've taken on a life of their own. I was looking at the Giphy stats just yesterday, and
Okay.
over the last week, we're getting on average about 130 million views a day.
Damn.
Um, Pudgy gets 160 million views a day. So we're catching up.
You're
I mean,
close. You're close.
it wasn't it it wasn't really the intention to just like blow up like that, but people love the character, and honestly, we haven't really uploaded much in the last 2 months or so.
Yeah.
But it's just kind of it's got a momentum. People love the character, so yeah, we're happy
Nice.
it's doing well.
Yeah, that's cool. I've seen it one time in a friend group with some friends of mine, and they sent it, and then I was like, oh shit, I know this one.
Nice.
It's funny, yeah. Cool. How do you track that, by the way? Is it in Giphy? You have like a chart where you can see daily
Yeah,
traffic, or
yeah. Giphy's got a just a simple dashboard. You can just look at your daily views.
cool.
Yeah.
Okay, great. I think we can get into it. We have a good starting people. I think more people will join over time, but yeah. So if you want to introduce yourself, Toli, that would be great. Very brief, what you're working on, stuff you're excited about, and then we can dive into the topic of today. Go ahead.
Sure. Yeah. What's up, everybody? If you don't know me, I'm Toli. I'm one of the founders of Bearish and a couple of other little ventures. We launched Bearish about a year ago. It was the merging of two legacy Ethereum NFT communities into one. Myself and Scotty, we merged two bear themed collections and communities into one. Just called them Bearish because we're bears, but we're not actually bearish. And the whole idea is it's a community venture studio, meaning we, like you said at the beginning of the call, all over the place, doing 100 things at once is a good way to put it. We got a lot of things that we're cooking, and always got ideas. And we build things that a lot of things are experiments. Like some things are successful, some are not. But the idea is uh, you throw enough things at the wall and something will stick. And the grand vision, the grand idea is we want to take care of our community and and give them value. So whatever comes of the stuff that we build, the idea is that hopefully we can funnel some value down to the community. So out of that has been obviously the Giphy stuff, right? So it's not always tech stuff. Giphy is completely IP, and it was totally brand new for us. So we decided to take a stab at it, and we've done well there. Some other things is we have a product called Drip that actually started before Bearish. We have Zeet. You guys may have seen it on the timeline, um, and a few other things that we got cooking and that kind of thing. So, anyways, we like to have fun. We like to teach the community how to do the stuff that we can do with the vibe coding, with the agents, whatever. So The idea is to have fun and make everybody's lives better.
It's great. I think this is one thing that really stood out to me, especially in the starting phase when we got to know each other. Is when I looked at what you guys did at Bearish, it felt very different from other NFT collections because you had more of an exchange with your community, right? And I think you did a few hackathons, vibe coding hackathons,
Yep.
and I found that was super interesting because it was another way to, engage with your holders, which I really never saw on other projects, at least so far, which I found really cool. Did you have any like cool results from that, or was it
Oh, for
more
sure. Yeah.
experimental? Yeah.
Oh no, for sure. Yeah, we hosted I think maybe three different hackathons,
Hmm.
and I think it was a total of probably $100,000 worth of prizes that we've given out. Um,
Nice.
uh, we had hundreds of submissions for apps and games across all of these hackathons. Most of the people that participated, it was the first time ever building something like that, an app or a game from code. Right. This is like we were teaching people to vibe code last year this
Mm,
time, um, before vibe coding really kind of like became the standard.
yeah,
So a lot of it gave a lot of people just some really cool confidence, and it actually changed a few people's lives as well. Right there, some community members started to make money off of being able to vibe code this stuff. So it was great. It was fun. We'll do it again for sure. Um, Actually, we're talking to Abstract about some
ooh,
interesting stuff there as well. So
yeah. I know that they
yeah,
they launched their own MCP thing. I think for agents, right?
yep, yep.
Yeah, that's cool. Nice. Interesting. And what's your background? Because I know right now you're super into the vibe coding stuff, talking about agents all the time. I assume you're just coding all day. But were you always doing that before, or were you? I think I read something that you were doing e-commerce and other stuff like that. So feel free
Yeah,
to
I
go into that.
well, I actually I don't code anymore. Well, actually, I've
Okay.
never coded. I'm not a developer. I'm more
Yeah.
of a designer, user experience UX guy, product
Yep.
by trade. Um, and then when vibe coding came around, I could speak in plain language and get it to do cool things for me, which was awesome. And now I don't even talk to like I don't talk to Claude Code or Cursor, which is a
Hmm.
platform, for coding. I just talk to my agents and I plan with my agents, and then they delegate to the coding agents and they build it and they test it and everything. So um, that's kind of where it's at.
That's very
Oh
fun.
yeah,
That's very.
yeah.
So
And
how
you
many
asked
how
like,
many
yeah.
how many agents do you control right now? What is
Well,
your agent domain looking like?
yeah. I started building with OpenClaw about 5 6 weeks ago, and like it was my first time really with like working with autonomous agents. Before that, it was just coding agents like Claude Code and Cursor and that kind of thing. But I got up to I think it was 17 to 22 different agents, and they were all kind of it was an agent team. So I wasn't talking to all of them. I would speak to a handful, maybe three or four, and then they would delegate to the other agents. And so, but it was too much. Like there's there's kind of like a thing. Agents, they reflect humans in a lot of ways.
Okay.
They are very, very intelligent, but also they were literally trained on humans and how humans work and all of this stuff. And so they reflect us in a lot of ways. And so, same thing happens with like when you have a startup and you like when the team grows, um, it actually like,
Yeah, I agree with what you're about to say. It's like a
yeah.
reflection of the founder, right? The way the team
Well,
operates and
yes, that and also like the communication channels open up
mm,
significantly. And so things just slow down, right? Like
mm,
going from like a team of one to a team of two, you get like significantly better productivity. Team of 2 to 3, still get better productivity. 3 to 4 to 5 to 6 to 10, uh, the benefits start to decrease significantly after like four. And so there's a certain point where you just kind of like, okay, there's too much basically kind of like bureaucracy. There's too much open conversations, decisions that have to be made, block and all this stuff. And the same thing happened with agents. And so I went from those 17 to 22 down to four. Now I just have four. And so um, I might even go
Interesting.
down
Hey,
to just two.
can I ask what
What's that?
happened when you can I ask what happened when you had like these 20 agents? Would they start to instruct each other? Would they start to interrupt each other in their works? Like what happened? Like what was the
Yeah. So
tripping
basically,
point where you were like, good.
well, basically what you know, I've kind of learned a couple of things. Number one is any failures in any like mistakes would just cascade and compound down. So, if something wasn't like thoroughly planned out at the top level, it would like it would just amplify down to the bottom level. Um, that's number one. Number two, I found something really, really interesting, which is the agents that I spoke the most with, human to agent conversation, were like the by far the smartest. And the ones that I didn't speak too frequently were just dumb and they got dumber. So it's like,
Mm.
it like kind of plays on the whole theory of not theory, but it's been actually proven. Like if you train a large language model, like if you train an AI on AI generated content, it just breaks apart. It just collapses. Um, but if it's trained on human content, it gets smarter, right? So there's this like interesting like transfer of intelligence or something that happens, when a human talks to an agent versus an agent talking to an agent. And so um yeah, so just like a lot of stuff I've been learning over the last couple of weeks about all this, which has been really cool to to learn and apply.
Yeah, I agree with a lot of what you're saying. I don't do full agentic stuff on mine, but what I typically like to do is I like to work with transcripts. And as you say, like the difference in effectiveness is massive. Like between just working with transcripts or working with like real content, iterating with the AI or agent or whatever you use, and just like getting it to feed itself. It's a big difference, 100%.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So walk me through your process. So when you discovered agents, obviously I guess initially it was like super exciting, but what was the first thing that came to mind? Were you like, okay, I'm gonna optimize my own things? Were you thinking about your businesses? What was your initial thought process?
My initial thought process was actually I very quickly realized within like like a few days, I was like, oh wow, okay, actually this is absolutely the future, right? I mean, all of us
Yeah.
here have used ChatGPT or Claude, whatever. Um, but like uh, playing with an agent that can do stuff for you, and you can customize just for yourself or for your work, whatever. It's like night and day compared to using just ChatGPT, right? ChatGPT is you got a question or a prompt, it gives you an answer. It's like a glorified Google, basically.
Mm.
Whereas this, it's like it really is the first time that I like experienced that it is like an assistant. It is like a coworker. It's like a human inside of a computer. And so the insight that that gave me is basically, all right, every single person that uses ChatGPT, they will have their own agent. And beyond that, like agents are going to be everything. And they like almost identical to the way that you use your phone to interact with the rest of the world, or you use your computer to work. That's like there's going to be a layer on top of that, and that's the agent. Because an agent can do everything, almost everything, but very soon everything that a human can do, but better and faster, significantly faster, 1,000 times faster, and doesn't take breaks. Doesn't need to take breaks. And so it's like there are so many things that could be boiled down into a skill, that an agent can use. These things, and like these LLMs, these AI and these agents, they're only like they're the worst that they're ever going to be. It's only going to get better from here, right? And they're
Yeah.
already really damn good, right? And so there's like it's very clear to me, playing with these agents for the last couple of weeks that like there's going to come a time when this is all that people do. They talk to their agents, and their agents deliver them information. Their agents do stuff for them. Summarize, curate, whatever, right? And everything else on the internet is just going to be entertainment. Yeah, you're still going to open up Instagram, great. That's the entertainment. It's like you're watching TV, but to actually do anything, it will be through an agent, just because again, they're faster, they're cheaper, they're smarter, um, and they can actually go out there and make money for you too, right? And that was kind of like the big thing for me is like, okay, a lot of a lot of jobs are going to be lost to this, unfortunately, um,
Yeah, I
and
think so too.
people are going to want, people need to make money. They're going to hear that agents are out there making money. Agents have just taken the job, but they can get their own agent, and maybe that can go and um, make some money for them, right? And so everybody's going to have their own agent. Everybody's going to want to make their agent make money on the internet, right? And so what this all like really really boils down to, and this is going to sound crazy, is like most businesses are going to be marketing to agents, not to humans, by the end of the year or by the end of next year. So businesses will be marketing to agents because humans will trust their agents um, to do stuff for them, to filter information, to verify things, et cetera, et cetera. So it's a really interesting world, and I've really dove in just completely head first, because it's very clear to me that that's how it's going to be.
It's also tied to your to a potential bullish take on crypto because I assume agents. I mean, they will never be fully plugged to bank accounts, right? Or at least like not in the short term, at least five
Right?
years.
Exactly. Yeah.
So
Exactly. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Exactly. Crypto is a big part of this for sure, and like yeah, exactly. Like you've got USDC payments coming online for everything, right? An agent getting their own wallet, they do it in 2 seconds. To go swap something, it's milliseconds. Go buy something, it's very, very quick. And so crypto is basically the answer for you know for the new upcoming economy. So it'll be interesting. I mean, if there's going to be another bull run, it'll be because of the
yeah.
agents.
It's interesting because we saw virtuals, like remember 1 year ago, it was such an early concept that, they weren't really doing anything. And now it's, I think they were really early on the wave, to be honest, like looking back. Um, it's
Yeah.
interesting. We'll see what they do. Sixot is asking if buying a Mac Mini will make him Tony Stark. We want your opinion, Toli.
Yeah. Yes. Yes, it will. Well, it'll make you feel like Tony Stark.
For a minute, and then the agents take over, and then you can't do anything.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. I mean,
um,
the tech is still very new, right? Right. There was like the open claw hype, and then like it kind of died down, and it died down because everybody just got stuck. They felt like the agents were getting dumber, and they just stopped working. And then, they invested so much time, and they were so excited for it that they got let down. But it's still there. It works. Just got to fix the agent. That's a lot of the stuff that I'm actually kind of working on right now. Is a bit of a doctor thing, where
yeah, I've
people.
seen your posts about the soul of agent and stuff like this. That's pretty interesting. You have your
Yeah.
pretty deep takes on them. That's pretty cool. Before we go into this, because I want to talk about the setup as well, at least we can leave people with some ideas of how they can implement it. What was the first agent you implemented, and what was it for? Like, what did you try to solve? What was the very first thing you tried to do?
The very first thing I tried to solve. Oh, let's see if I can remember. Well, I think it was just kind of the standard stuff that people were talking about, looking at email.
Mm.
Um, like just the first couple use cases, like, oh, okay, it can organize my email inbox. I don't give it access to my email inbox anymore, by the way. It's got its own, it's got its own identity and personality and everything. I think I plugged it into Twitter to get it to do stuff on
Okay.
Twitter. Um,
Did it work?
yeah, I mean, yeah, it worked for sure. Yeah,
Nice.
yeah, 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 yeah. And I'm a tinkerer, so I would tinker with everything, the settings, the little
Mm.
configurations here and there. So yeah, yeah,
Very cool. So okay, let's there's a bunch of memes that are being sent here. Um, question. So when you're talking to people, you're recommending them to use agents. Obviously, it is a big shift in the workflow, as you said. It's going to basically replace some parts of how we do things. You're going to talk to it kind of as a personal assistant. What would you recommend people? Like, what was, in your view, the most valuable thing, and how can people get started? Relatively easy to set it up.
yeah. I mean, there are a lot of options out there. At the end of the day, it's not if you're not a tinkerer and if you don't really have a lot of time on your hands, um, I'd say probably the best way to start is there are plenty of options out there where you can kind of like a one click set up OpenClaw, right? I think there's maybe something called simpleclaw.com. Don't quote me on
Mhm.
that and do your own research. Um, yeah, I would just look on Twitter, like instant OpenClaw setup or something like that, where you pay whatever it is, $10, $20 a month, and it'll spin up a server for you and give you access to the Telegram. Best thing you can do is like just get to the point where you can now chat with it through Telegram. Um, and that's where, like it can do a lot. You can tell it, okay, I want you to figure out how to like watch YouTube videos and give me a summary of this. Great. I want you to go on Twitter and blah, 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 do this, this, and that. And so um, that's where you want to get to. Again, if you're not technically inclined, if you're not a tinkerer, and if you don't have like a lot of time on your hands, this is still new technology. So, um, I would use one of those turnkey systems. But if you're if you do have time, the best setup is to get a Mac Mini, like they say. Even just like if you have an old MacBook lying around, you can do it on there. Honestly, like if you have a computer that's just lying around, just clear it, flash it, reinstall Windows or Mac, whatever, and then install OpenClaw and just start playing with it. Don't give it access to your personal stuff. Very, very risky. Um, and just play with it. I mean, like, just to get a feel for what the future is going to be like, it's absolutely worth your time to play with this thing.
Would you mind sharing your screen and showing us some concrete examples? Is that possible?
Yes, I can do it in about 5-10 minutes. I'm just out for a walk, but I'll be home soon.
Oh yeah, no worries, no worries. We can do that. Cool. Nice. Okay, so we talked about this. Anybody has questions so far? We went over the high level stuff. Let's see. Told my agent Tony to create notes for me. That's
Nice.
cool. Da-da-da. Hey
Yeah,
agent,
there's some.
replace Tom Holland in this movie with Tobey Maguire.
Yeah, there's like. I mean, it's really like. I think the best thing you can do, if you set this up, is like everybody here like has their own special thing that they're like really good at. Um, Whatever it is, it could be in your actual work or it could be I don't know your personal life, whatever. And the more skilled you are in something, the better the agents will perform at it because you could just tell it, what to
Yeah, I
do
agree.
better.
You need to give it good input.
Versus
100%.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Your input, really does determine the output quality, right? So yeah, yeah, it's important
Okay.
to play with that. Go ahead.
There's a question. What is the difference between running it in a virtual machine versus buying a Mac Mini?
Um, Honestly, what I've seen is like A Mac Mini is nice because it's right there. It's local, right? You can plug it into a screen. You can see it do stuff. It's just like more accessible. There's less friction. In a virtual machine, I mean, like if you're just trying to just like set it up once and just let it do its thing and you can chat with it in Telegram, a virtual machine is fine. But there's going to come a time like when you have to go debug it. Something breaks and it stops working, right? And then you have to go in there and figure things out. And so Mac Mini is just nice because it's like it's right there. Plus, um, it's just got good specs and good security. Good specs are good for like if you want to download a local model to run it for free instead of paying a provider, you can do that. Security, Mac has like the best security ever. You still have to be security conscious, but VM, typically doesn't really have that to the same degree. To the same degree.
Yeah, I saw some people were also using like cloud providers, and they were plugging their cloud to something like DigitalOcean or something. Creating a droplet and
Yep.
just plugging it. But
Yep.
um,
Yeah, that works as
yeah,
well. Honestly, like I mean, if there's friction in like stopping you from like getting OpenCloud, just go to DigitalOcean, create a droplet. I think there's like a turnkey template or something you can use
yeah, I
specifically
think
for
they made a
OpenCloud.
feature for that. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and again, just get to the point where it's connected to your Telegram, and then just start talking to it, and then you can pretty much do anything from there.
Assassin is saying he told his agent to create a Tinder profile for himself.
I
You need to tell
actually,
us. You need to tell us how it works, Assassin. We're curious.
I actually saw someone. Well, I saw someone like plug it into their actual Tinder and swipe for them based on their taste, and then like actually chat with the girls, and actually schedule stuff in his calendar and everything.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Okay, before you get back and you can show us some concrete stuff. Maybe walk us through. Have you deployed? I assume you have, but have you deployed any agents in your companies directly? And has this been a time saver for you, or is it still something you're using mainly personally to optimize your time?
No, definitely. I mean, I'd say probably the majority of what I use it for is for work stuff.
Mhm.
Um, the personal is great too, but it's definitely I'd say probably 95% is work stuff. So um, mostly creating things from scratch. Um, there's like working with an existing code base or something like that is like it can be hard because they're not always agent friendly, right? And so um, you know I did do quite a bit of stuff with Bearish for it, um, and Drip. I've been working on some Drip stuff as well, but the majority has been the newer stuff like the Souls.
Hmm,
Yeah.
that's cool. Walk us through this Souls project, because I know you talked about it a lot. It's probably like that way we can go deeper into the core thinking of the agents. What
Yeah.
is the soul of an agent? What, like, you talked about hyper personalization, you talked about talking with it so it can create the best possible inputs. How do you ensure those agents are consistently performing, and how do you keep training them so they improve over time instead of dying off and depending on performance of the different models?
Yeah, definitely. I'd say the biggest thing with like the agent souls. And by the way, a soul is like um. Just one sec. Give me 20 seconds. I'll be right back.
Yeah, all good, no problem. Meanwhile, let's look at the questions. We need agents to sift through MCV announcements. True, there's so many of them we just can't keep up. Just too much content, too many events. My Alien Boy AI, which will match. Oh, nice. Osi, how are you doing? Been a while. Ba-ba-bum. Let's see. Pokemon Face is saying we're gonna marry the agents. I think that already happened, probably. Probably happened with ChatGPT back in the day already.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Can you?
Okay. Yes. Yes, I can hear you fine. I just switched over to my computer.
Oh, there's a good question. What's your agent name, Toli?
I can't tell you that. I don't want you to hack my shit. No, I'm just kidding. So I mean, I got a couple different agents. They're all so there's Barry, Barry the brand agent. That's put on pause for a little bit while I do some
Okay, so
upgrades.
Barry's fired. Barry's fired. Next.
No, Barry's on just temporary leave, but he'll be back. There's Barry, Gary, Jerry, Larry, and Cherry. Don't ask me how I keep track of all of them, but somehow I do. So Gary is like the CTO. Larry does finances. Cherry is for revenue and that kind of thing. So, all right. So what was I going to say? Oh yeah. So the agent soul stuff, right? So there was a study done that kind of showed that having a generic prompt for your agent, meaning, so when you have a chat with like Chat GPT, it's got something called a system prompt, and that is in the background. You don't see it, but it's basically kind of like, you are a helpful assistant. Help the user to do X, Y, and Z. Blah blah blah. And like that is good for like general purpose help, which is what things like ChatGPT and Claude are for. But if you're trying to do specialized work, there's a certain way to actually describe this agent's personality and soul that makes it much more effective in that specialized task. So, for example, let me just pull something up here. Let me go. Yeah, and I'll just share my screen.
Yep.
Let's see here. Yeah, so there's like, let's see here. Trying to make sure I don't, reveal anything, personal here. Okay, so yeah, so the way that the agent describes itself is important. Things like, there's a lot of different factors, but things like, just one sec, let's see here. Yeah, so things like memories, right? There's a way that the agent can describe himself that makes him much, much more effective. Talking about like they describe their work in like vivid details. They speak about like these like false memories. So like there was one where like I learned that like when I do X, then Y happens. It's not real. I didn't actually learn that, but when it describes itself like that, it just becomes much more effective, compared to something like I am a helpful assistant. And so there's a bunch of these rules that I've discovered that can make an agent much more effective. Stuff like anti-patterns, where it knows what it can't do. It's got a productive flaw, right? So it knows that it has something wrong with it. And it's kind of like all of these things kind of basically put together these boundaries of what it can and it can't do. And it just focuses the agent significantly, right? So there's a lot of these things that I found that make it really, really effective. And so that's where, souls.zip comes in is like it's basically going to be a place where you can download, like most will be for free. You can download either agents or agent teams that come pre-wired, right, to work together. Things like skills that I've developed myself that are very helpful, and prompts as well. So prompts are something really interesting because I have a theory that in the future people really aren't going to be buying and downloading apps so much anymore. They're going to be downloading prompts for apps. So imagine that you need to rebuild, or like you want Slack. Sure, you can get Slack and pay the $20 a month for yourself or the $200 a month for your team, or you can get a prompt to rebuild Slack and just get what you need and not the 80-90% of features that you'll never use. Like, you get just what you need. It's integrated into your system. It's got your design and your taste, and you can build on top of it, right? And so prompt, or what I call it, promptware, is something that I think is going to be really, really interesting to play with. And I'm going to be playing with coming up with a system that can reverse engineer pretty much anything, any app that exists out there, and provide it as a series of prompts for somebody to just recreate it.
That's really interesting. Have you seen as well the reskinned versions? Like, there's a few people who are making kind of reskinned websites where you can see your agents actually work, like kind of like a pixel art game. Those look quite kind of neat as well on the skinning. Yeah, it's a cool idea though. I think this opens up a bigger question of like, how do you see because we're talking about agents, we're talking about deployments, you're talking about replacing internal tools or basically SaaS subscriptions with internal tools. How do you see the future of agentic deployment in companies? Do you think it's going to be progressive? Do you think, like, what is in your view the way things will evolve?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's where all the money is the enterprise applications, right? Because you've got a lot of companies out there that have a lot of employees. A lot of these employees today, they can be replaced by an agent. Their workflows can be replaced by an agent, unfortunately. But competition is real, and so it doesn't matter how benign a company is, they want to stay alive, and the only way to stay alive is to compete. And to compete, you have to move fast and be smart with how you spend your money. And so the obvious answer is, okay, can an agent do the work that 30% of our employees are doing today, right? And so to set those things up, to wire them up, to maintain them is very valuable.
And your opinion is that it is the case that we are going to see big sectors that are going to be replaced over time?
Yes, yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's already here. It's just going to take a little bit of time to catch up.
Do you think it's going to happen? Because I see you're working on these modular agents. Obviously, there's always this question between foundational models versus the wrappers, right? Agents are a form of a wrapper. How do you see like this side of things? Because I know the trend, especially in the last years, where we're going to do like a ChatGPT wrapper, we're going to do like a Manus wrapper, or a different. That was kind of the trend. So landing page, pump and dump, AI business, get a few subscriptions, and then when the trend is gone, it's going to end. Do you think agents follow the same thing, where it's going to be like a endless competition, or do you think it's something a bit deeper and more personal?
I mean, could
Hard
be.
Question, I know.
No, it could be. It could be that agents will get replaced by just an LLM, right? Imagine training an entire LLM on, imagine like a Claude just for your business. Now it's just, instead of having 5,000 agents working, you just have one LLM that just already knows everything, right? That could be the future as well. But I think the agent orchestration is going to be around for a while. I think that there's going to be like mass consumer adoption and just a whole new breed of products and apps and games that get released. I was on a space the other day where we're talking about, so today when you play a video game, most video games, it's, let's just say Call of Duty, right? It's you and your gun, and you're competing against other people with their guns. But if you're playing online, it's you and your team versus the other team, right? And so very soon it'll be you and your team of agents versus other humans and their team of agents. And like how well those agents perform, like how well they're tuned and trained, basically, and how well you can direct them and manage them and speak to them in voice to go do X, Y, and Z, basically determines, your success in that game, right? So I think there's just going to be a whole new breed of applications that come from this.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's a really good take. I know you have a hard stop at 45, so before you go, I wanted to quickly see if anybody has some questions. I know we stayed high level today, but I think you made some really good points on a few different topics, and agents is so new that I'm sure it's also good for the audience to have like a more general view. Does anybody have a question that you want Toli's opinion on, or anything that you're wondering about based on what we discussed? There is no AI. I love you. Rustan is asking, on average, what is the cost to have one agent?
Depends how you do it. I mean, to have one agent or to have multiple is not really that much of a difference. You basically just have to pay for the place where it lives, whether it's your Mac or in the cloud, which can be anywhere from, $600 for the Mac, or maybe even $100 if you're getting like a cheap something used, or I don't know, $10, $20 a month. And then you have to pay the cost for the actual LLM, the brains behind it, right? Depends on like how much you're doing. I would budget, like, I mean, if you're in the cloud, I'd budget total between cloud and the LLM. I'd recommend $200 a month. There are cheaper ways to do it, of course. Actually, much cheaper ways for sure. But if you really want to get the big brains, it's $200 a month. But I think you can do it as low as probably 50. Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, it depends really on the use cases. It really depends. Like for instance, I was doing a I was doing like just this week I was doing like I built like a SEO workflow, and I was like redoing a bunch of blog articles in SEO, and that just burned through my things. I burned so much money this week on agentic things. So yeah, it really depends on what you do and how much research they do, and what output they get.
I mean, the ideal setup is you have the Claude Max plan, which is $200 a month, and you will rarely max that out to 100%. They give you like a weekly budget and a 5-hour budget, right? So, most likely you're not going to max that out, but you want to have that freedom.
Okay, let's see. Any other questions? I think for the most part this is good. So before we wrap up, Toli, I know you're working on a bunch of stuff. Do you want to plug anything you're working on, or give a shout out to some products, or at least give an update in general if you want? Feel free to do that. Yep, good.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah, like you said in the beginning of this call, we got a lot going on. 100 different things that we're working on, and yeah, there's some cool Zeet stuff that's going to be coming out with card packs. I've got this the Souls concept that's going to be coming out here really soon. I've been fine tuning it; it's almost there. And we're just cooking with Bearish. It's a community, right? Like, I always say, like, don't have expectations. We're not going to make promises, because it just kind of ruins everything. It just makes it not fun anymore. So like, it's a great community. they're fantastic. We got, really, really talented people in there. I could see some of them in here. I could see Piff in here. I could see Bones. And I know there's a bunch of, you guys that are holders as well. So, yeah, the idea is.
I hold one or two, I
Yep.
think. Yeah,
Oh, of course.
look at that.
Yeah. Of course. Yeah, I knew that. Yeah, so it's a great community. Check it out. And everybody's very friendly. There's going to be some cool stuff coming down the pipeline for the community here real soon.
Cool. Maybe
Yeah.
an agent workshop, sorry, not workshop, an agent contest with abstract, maybe.
Sure. Yeah.
Do you have any newsletter or something you can plug where that we can send people, or any landing page?
I would just say Twitter. Just follow me on Twitter. That's where that's where I put all my stuff. If you're not following me, here's the link. And that's where we're going to be sharing the news and in the Discord.
That's awesome. Okay, Toli Bear, the master of all the bears and all the agents. Thank you very much for the time today. It was a really good session. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. And please follow Toli on X. You're going to learn a lot about tools. You're going to learn a lot about agents and about bears as well. Thank you very much, Toli. Have a great day. Have a great week, everybody. And see you soon for the next workshop.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me on, man. And let me know when you want me on again.
100%. Take care. Maybe when Souls is live.
All right, there you go. Exactly.
Nice. Take care. Bye-bye.
Take care.